I like dogs. This man does not like dogs. K-None. Get it? Like K9, but he wants none of them. K-None Official. 963 subs. 459 videos. Bringing down dog culture. One video at a time. They do, I believe, also have an anti-dog manifesto. Oh, the secondary channel. I guess it's just a defense if they get back. Oh, no, there is stuff. The existence of stray dogs disproves blame the owner, not the dog. The argument's gonna be, look how they behave without the influence of an owner. The owner should have control of their animal. The problem is not necessarily just aggression, but the owner does not have control of their animal. Like, a lot of these big aggressive dogs, it's not just that they're allowed to have that demeanor that means they'll attack. They should be in the physical control of their owner if there's any risk of that dog getting away. Anyway, let's check this out.
When a dog does something terrible because it is
dog ripping my wallpaper down? The jumping wallpaper dog.
in the dog's nature to be that way, apologists will line up to tell you all about how it wasn't the poor doggy's fault. For instance, when a dog harasses or attacks someone.
I'm a dog lover and I wouldn't even say that. Yeah, obviously. Feral dogs, yes. Humans are a moderating influence and a controlling influence. Should be in control of the animal.
Or when it engages in
the dog's demeanor shouldn't matter because you should have control of it.
Property destruction. Even if the owner is nowhere to be found, or even if there is no owner, it is somehow the owner's fault.
Oh, was that the mic drop?
Except for when a dog kills someone, in which case, I suppose suddenly the owners would not want to take responsibility.
I think they should be forced to, though, yeah.
In this case, both the dog and the owner can be blamed. It's not one or the other. The owner is responsible for having the dog at all. That is what they shouldn't be doing, and we can all agree. However...
Wait! Hold! All dog owners are responsible for the crime of having a dog. I'd agree with the first statement. The first part of that statement. The first part of this. Not the owner has responsibility as well. After all, they owned a dog. That's their first strike.
Dog is still the direct, most immediate identifiable cause of its own actions. Suppose a pit bull did what pit bulls do. Taken to its logical conclusion, this would mean that the owner was responsible for the mauling. But
yes, I think a dog's owner should be held responsible for the behavior of the dog, yes.
Dogs have their own drives and motivations.
Stop. He's lost in the sauce to the point where he's making arguments about culpability regarding an animal. He's arguing like mens rea on behalf of the dog in a mauling.
And these are external to those of their owners. Being a dog does not mean you can't be the direct cause of something bad, which is really what we're talking about here.
We need to bring that dog to court. What the f*** are we listening to?
Is nothing more than an attempt to downplay the severity of the violation perpetrated by the dog.
What the f***? No!
This point about who or what is to be blamed is very tedious. Even if you want to argue that dogs have no impulse control, which of course is true, they nonetheless remain the sole cause of whatever actions they themselves choose to carry out.
No, not if they have an owner who has taken responsibility for the animal. You're responsible for not controlling it. Consider an extreme example of owning an animal like a pit viper. If that pit viper hurts someone, it's the responsibility of the owner for not containing it.
The fact that a dog is highly instinct-driven and has no capacity to self-regulate is precisely what makes it a bad fit for human society.
It's like he's arguing against a phantom of someone who thinks dogs should have rights in the same way that a human should have. They're not. He's talking as if they're a part of society.
Not an excuse to allow something that behaves that way to be on human territory.
To be on human territory. Now he's like dehumanizing people.
Let's go back to ownership. This is only a
yeah, they're dumb animals. Why it's okay to totally dominate them and shape them. I was gonna say to fit our desires, but that has furry connotations. What I mean is like eugenics, programs on people, no. On dogs, yeah, it's called breeding and it rules. You can get all sorts of cool animals and dominate them and totally control their behavior. By force. Put them on a leash, muzzle them.
Is obviously the problem. It goes without saying that the owner shouldn't have a creature that is capable, and often willing, to do something like this.
Why not? That person shouldn't have it, sure. What does this guy think about zoos?
Entity that is aggressing against you. very directly.
Very directly. As opposed to the dogs who, like, commit mail fraud. Maybe he is anti-zoo. This is f***ing incredible. Thank you to the person who brought this to my attention. Dog nutters and their dogs created our movement. Irresponsible dog owners, sure. And irresponsible doesn't just mean regarding training. It's not like, oh, the dog is that way because it wasn't trained right. Its owner shouldn't let it be in a position where it could harm someone. Dog culture is extreme. The big lie! At one time, Europeans hated dogs. Holy f***, this is so good. Why the anti-dog movement is so important. Holy sh**, this is amazing!
Greetings. The following is primarily aimed at those who may be hesitant to opine strongly about dogs one way or the other, but
this video is to appeal to the dog centrists. This video is for people who don't feel one way or the other. What the f*** is this? This isn't real. Are you out of your... Well, we know he's out of his mind.
Who can probably be persuaded, provided that they are presented with a compelling enough set of arguments. I would suggest that...
Congratulations, you just entirely undermined your strategy by saying what your target audience is and what you're trying to do. Hey, are you an ignorant fence-sitter? I want you to listen to this because I think you'll be easier to convince. Just dumb on all levels.
Dog defenders are likewise welcome to listen to this audio presentation with an open mind. But unfortunately...
What if I don't have an open mind?
It is abundantly clear that...
What's the Dawkins thing? Good to have an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out.
They are more likely to respond to the video title alone, ignoring all the actual content. It is a good bet, as evidenced by all...
Preemptive bad faith accusation. Incredible.
Every dog sympathizer will recoil at the mere suggestion that a dog is capable...
Dog sympathizer.
...of doing something terrible, and this is based on their sense that the very idea is excessively repulsive. Which is ironic, because dogs have proven themselves to be exactly that, excessively repulsive. We know...
If they were merely repulsive within acceptable limits, that would be fine, but they are excessively repulsive.
Full well what dogs are capable of, because they show us all the time. We require no lesson from dog apologists on the true nature of dogs.
Does he know what humans are capable of?
Dogs, which is evident from our encounters with them, and our observations of them.
If he's going to argue entirely from what something can do,
as
there are some weird paths. If he doesn't provide qualifiers,
constant transgressions are caught on film. And, it should be noted, their well-documented attacks and frequent involvement in dog-originated conflict and turmoil as well.
Dog-originated turmoil. I would suggest that dogs are involved in dog-originated turmoil 100% of the time, in fact.
It is difficult for those of us in the non-dog-owning public to know which ones will, or not, or when. From our perspective, it is better that no one has a dog, because then we will be certain that no dogs will ever attack anyone. On a collective level, all dogs contribute directly and indirectly.
Wonder what else you can apply these to.
Directly to harm. This is a major detail that is frequently overlooked by dog adherents and sympathizers of
dog adherents. It just keeps getting better.
All stripes. It is a complete mystery to me how having a...
Bro, what do you think about cars? Of course, the counter-argument will be like, a car doesn't have a mind of its own. Yeah, but look how many car crashes happen. How many car crashes would happen if no one had cars?
And the most alarming part of this is the widespread social acceptance they have managed to acquire.
They have managed to acquire. He makes it sound like they're gonna take over the world.
They are so despicable, some of them, that they cheer human suffering on as long as a dog is the cause of it.
What the f...
This is no exaggeration. It is not
Not exaggeration, perhaps, in the case that you can find an individual doing that. I think it is an exaggeration to suggest that any significant number of dog owners are like, yeah, look at that guy getting eaten alive by a pit bull.
Hyperbolic. The evidence of this is all around you. All you have to do is start talking honestly about problems caused by dogs. And before you know it, you will be on the receiving end of the dog worshippers' intense anti-human vitriol. Surely some mechanism must exist by which to govern the activities and abilities of dog owners and would-be dog owners everywhere. Why? Because the dog world creates pure pandemonium and is anarchic. Dog owners of all classes are terrorizing, destroying, and impoverishing the planet via their deranged consumer life
impoverishing the planet?
Style choices. All it takes to turn any neighborhood, anywhere, into a complete shambles is...
Okay, this might entirely be allegorical.
...to introduce the presence of dogs. This really bears emphasis. Dog owners
This line in particular is like, okay, alright, maybe it's a dog whistle entirely.
brazenly disregard important safety laws and rules that would at least somewhat minimize their impact if only they were adhered to. In real-world practice, their constant trespasses are overlooked. The world needs to quit giving dogs a pass, starting at the highest levels. It needs to start putting the screws down, which in real-world practice entails the employment of forcible means, namely governmental means. Sadly, it seems that will never happen. But this is only
It's already happening in the UK.
because dogs are profitable and inexplicably popular at this moment in time.
Inexplicably popular. Bro, do you know where dogs come from? How did we end up with dogs? Why do we have them? Now, here's the thing. You might think, oh, it is someone just doing an edgy race take, swapping in dogs. Look, 12 videos, 34 subs. However, this is the secondary channel. Main channel, 459 videos. Is it all dog stuff? Dogs ruin Halloween every year. Seeds of hatred for dogs and dog culture. This has to be about dogs. Obviously, the sort of rhetoric parallels to human race and is used that way, but I think it's incidental that it comes off that way because of that. I think this is on its face about dogs. Anti-dog memes compiled from the web. Dogs-owned compilation. Dogs being absolute pests. Level 4 dog nut depicted. Why the anti-dog community is not a cult, a thorough debunking. What natural canines look like, dogs are not natural. Take issue with the word natural, but I know what he means by that. Yeah, and that's a good thing. We bred them to be really cool. Like, what do you mean?
This whole dog thing borders on human sacrifice and dog worship. If you still think our position is an extremist one, consider this. If a person did half the things a dog is liable to do at any given moment, dog owners would hate them for that exact same behavior. They wouldn't care if it was because of the way those people were raised and socialized or not.
Can include, like, shitting on the ground outside in that.
Another thing I would like to address, I don't go out of my way to hate dogs.
Really? Come on. Come on.
Dogs create messes, tragedies, and problems for us to solve. And they make more dogs sometimes, which just makes...
Somehow these dogs are making more dogs. We haven't figured out how yet, but once we do, we will stop it. On the Netflix show Family Reunion, there's a part where someone mentions how marijuana is legal in over 30 states. Medea responds by saying, "So is kissing your dog in the mouth, but that don't mean you should do it." Now, I don't agree that smoking or selling cannabis is bad. No? You don't think you could apply some of your arguments about dogs to cannabis being widely available? Okay. But I think that's a great line. There's almost no mention of dogs in this entire show. And the only other line hinting at dogs is one that doesn't mention them directly. Also said by Amelia Medea, and is a reference to rats. The line was something like, "A pet is something you can walk, a rat is just cat food." Which is not good because it's an endorsement of dogs as pets! This is the Anita Sarkeesian of dogs! And was a reference to a loose rat that turned out to be someone's pet in the show. Animal bigotry right there. But aside from those two lines thus far, there's not even any mention of dogs, and you never see or hear them in this show at all. But anyway, I love it when shows don't have dogs in them. Or when they aren't constantly portraying dogs as good, it should be common sense that it's discussed. We need like a sweet baby detective for like sweet doggy detective. So people can avoid dog ideology being spread in video games and movies. It should be common sense that it's disgusting to make out with a dog. Yeah, it is. But this line is very controversial among dog nutters / zoophiles. Not that this guy was mauled. I guarantee you. Not that their opinion matters, just saying. More shows should criticize the nastiness and depravity of dog culture, but most seem to cater to these weirdos. Oh, these aren't multiple days? These are just the posts for today! Holy moly. Okay. What is this paragraph? I don't like the idea of someone being torn apart by lions or snatched up by a crocodile either. But the idea of it does not fill me with revulsion, and does not make me cringe like the thought of dogs doing it to someone. At least you didn't get eaten by a dog, Henry. At least the croc got you. If the croc didn't kill him, he could have been gotten by a dog, so really it did him a favor. Can't even express how wrong I think the very existence of dogs is, and what an injustice it is anytime any one of these bestial, aberrant, faux predators. Faux predators? Why faux? Those who enact atrocities through the agency of a wretched, inhuman mutant canine. It would be kind of weirder if we had human mutant canines, right? Think about this. It's actually legal and even considered morally neutral to allow people to own something that literally wants to kill people just for existing. You're just going to talk about dogs there? I like zoos. I think people should be able to own invertebrates and snakes, for instance, as well, that have medically significant bites that can even kill people. All these nasty and vicious dogs clearly have instincts to annihilate life simply because it is there. Holy shit. Alright, it's AI song time. It's these lyrics. On dog-infested turf, gotta be streetwise to expose these mutant turds. Don't need a deep dive, just a brief drive to any cheap dive. Dogs ubiquitous like weeds. I've gotta get off this mud-infested big side. Nowhere to go but seaside. Mutants always get in a free ride, living off us like a leech might. Deeply damaging our species' pride. Yet somebody continue to preach guides on reconditioning these beasts. Tries to not be predators that always seek fights. Yet these creatures remain bloodthirsty, like it's in their DNA to take a deep bite. Holy I want to get a pit bull now. I understand the appeal. They can control cats too. With Chip. I live feces attack every day on the same spot. I and my lady is sick now from those feces and pee spell. Got sick countless time. Same witches uses them for sure. Use of Mambo, witch nemesis. He uploads a lot of videos. This is like a poop scooping video.
Tekstlenk göremiyoruz. Bu kanıt değilse ne bilmem.
I can't believe dogs did this to his living quarters. Wait, is this straight up the Resident Evil 7 house? If there's a bathroom at the end here. Bismillah.
Devam et. Devam et şoför.
It's the feces attack.
Beware of dogs. A manifesto on the ills of dog ownership. Abstract. Dogs are seemingly worshipped by society, with few true benefits outside of perceived value and entertainment.
Dog nutters are constantly going on about how great dogs supposedly are, and how much worse than dogs people supposedly are. And I've been telling these nutters for years that if they truly hate humans so much, they should find a place with only dogs.
Once you write a manifesto like that, you lose the right to call anyone else a nutter.
And go live there. Or take all the dogs with them and stop bothering the rest of us. Preferably a remote island with very little wildlife for them to disturb. Obviously, this is hypothetical, since dog nutters know damn well that a life without other humans would totally suck beyond belief.
Dog owners cooked. Dog owners destroyed. Would you live on an island with nothing but dogs, with nothing to eat?
I recently presented this to one particular dog apologist, and he completely missed the point. But these dog worshippers are such hypocrites. They use the internet to tell us how much they hate humanity. They live in houses or apartments built by human labor and designed by human architects. They then provide their dogs with free room and board, and then act like dogs are their superiors, and even better than all humans.
When I have a dog, I control what it does.
To maintain the health of their dogs, they take advantage of the benefits of veterinary medicine. Dogs can't take care of themselves without help from those who own them.
Yeah, we made him that way.
One nutter even admitted as much to me by
One dog nutter admitted that his dog couldn't look after itself. Yeah?
saying to me that the quality of life of dogs on an island with only dogs and perhaps a few nutters would be garbage.
Yeah, they're a domesticated animal.
This is exactly my point, by the way. Dogs require care and maintenance from humans, and their very presence requires a high degree of social responsibility that is increasingly absent.
Sounds like you're making the argument that dogs could be okay, but it's the people who are an issue. Curious. Dog Island is real! Debunked. Explain this. Dog haters can't explain this. This dog owns an island.
But what this means is that dogs are the ones that require a service, which makes the term service dog contradictory.
Oh my god. We have to do things for them because they're utterly subjugated. Does he think like chattel slavery means you think your slaves are gods? You provide them with everything because they're not allowed to get it for themselves.
Something that itself requires a service from you cannot also be the thing you rely on for a service.
That's the most retarded shit I've ever heard in my life. You're blind, feed the dog helps you navigate the world. This is struck down just by observing reality.
This is just one of the many internal contradictions of dog culture.
This is a person who has no concept of soundness. This is amazing. He's got like an idiosyncratic understanding of logic, and then is only concerned with validity of statements and not soundness. So in the face of reality, his logic wins.
And we can see the numerous and varied myriad problems caused by their presence. We can look at neighborhoods.
India's got a big problem with street dogs, streeties. What is it, 20,000 human deaths from rabies every year in India?
Plagued by dogs as well. And all we have to do is imagine the horror on our hands if all of those dogs were able to roam free.
This is like the Joe Rogan meme. Imagine a society where dogs were just allowed to roam free and run everything, man. It would be pandemonium.
Because once again, a big part of the illusion behind the belief that dogs are safe and acceptable pets is owed to the fact that dogs are largely contained and usually restrained in public.
Yes, as they should continue to be.
Every dog is an atrocity. Humans...
How does it keep getting better?
They tell us that something which looked a lot like this was the original dog. But if dogs weren't around, and someone made a wolf look like a chihuahua or a pug, it would be seen as a cruel desecration of nature.
No? Why? That is what happened, and we think it's tight.
It would be akin to mutilation.
No, mutilation is done to an individual organism.
Frankensteinian venture, which would be shut down straight away. So why is it acceptable to do this to animals over the course of centuries, millennia, and longer stretches of time?
Because they're animals. I think there's some, foundation missing.
The differences between ourselves and canines are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But you can easily tell, even just by looking at the two, that a domestic dog and a wolf are not the same at all.
Yes, that was the idea.
Of course, there are hundreds of breeds, and some are far more similar to wolves than other dogs. But they still aren't the same as wolves.
Yeah.
I am not talking about genetics. It is irrelevant. After all...
How is genetics irrelevant to this conversation? I'd say it's at the core of this conversation. What?
And this is just a comparison. We are genetically very similar to chimpanzees and bonobos. However, there is also a very obvious and very glaring difference between ourselves and these wild apes. We recognize it intuitively, that they are not the same thing we are. Even without...
Why do you think we call dogs dogs, and we don't just call them wolves?
Without any understanding of taxonomy, we know that a non-human animal is not another person or a human. The same, of course, applies to dogs. They aren't human.
My mind is being blown!
But the main point is that what has been done to dogs, or rather, their proto-dog and wild canine ancestors, is a travesty. Dogs were basically created to serve humans, and this is not how you would treat an organism you respected.
It's not about respect, and it's not respect in the same way as you respect a human being and a human being's rights.
Look at what dog lovers have done to dogs over millennia.
Holy f***, that top right dog is all f***ed up.
An animal that is bound by the food it is given, the leash that it is on, the cage that it is in, and a defecation schedule is so far removed from a friend that the use of the term is tantamount to newspeak.
When people call a dog a friend, they're not using friend in the same way they mean a human who is a friend.
The dog owner seeks to assert this dominant relationship in public.
Yes, these potentially dangerous animals should be dominated if we're to own them, yes.
Rather than
and it's okay to do it. because they are non-human animals that are not possessed of qualities that humans have that grant them personhood.
In the privacy of their own home. At face value, it is more akin to ownership for human self-gratification than it is.
Yes, you do own your dogs. Yes, it literally just is ownership. Yes.
To companionship or friendship. They are not naturally occurring independent of man, in any way, essentially making the term designer dog moot, as technically every single one is.
This might be the most autistic person I've ever come across. The clear lack of understanding of use of language, believing in, like, essential definition of words.
100 species of dogs to look, behave, and perform how we want them to, and then judge them according to the look of each specific breed in a way that could be described as no less than xenophobic.
The xenophobia of Crofts. Holy
People still ask me why I hate dogs. More than half of my many videos can answer that question, but so can this. Dogs have bitten me unprovoked on multiple occasions. Dogs capable of killing me have chased me out of certain areas. Dogs have caused me to avoid
Skill issue.
entire streets in certain neighborhoods, just by their presence. Dogs have chased me while cycling, and one nearly killed me this way.
he threw a stick in my spokes.
Dogs have menaced me from behind gates, fences, windows, front doors, screen doors, and even from inside vehicles on countless occasions.
They were driving!
Dogs have made it impossible for me to enjoy the backyard in a house I lived in. I'm referring to barking, of course. Dogs have done the same with
barking do be annoying.
Porches in apartments I've rented. Dogs have kept me awake with incessant barking when I needed to be well rested for work.
Yeah, it's really
Dogs
annoying.
have nearly gotten me evicted or in legal trouble because of conflicts with their owners, who are merely their enablers.
Hold up. All this commentary about the responsibility of dogs, when it comes to himself, dogs have nearly gotten me evicted or in legal trouble because of conflicts with their owners. My man hates dogs because he's jealous of their agency, which he does not have.
Dogs have prevented me from moving into properties I would have liked to move to. Dogs have terrorized and annoyed
Dogs outbid me on the house I wanted to purchase.
friends and family members of mine on their properties. Dogs have ruined numerous hikes, walks, exercise sessions, and outings for me. Dogs have attacked people I've known. This includes friends and family members.
Hold up.
Dogs owned by others have pissed on my apartment floor.
You let dogs into your apartment?
Dogs owned by others have
Maybe he's talking about like a flat share?
Jumped on me without my consent, or have attempted to at least. Dogs owned by others have caused me to have to leave
The Rottweiler raped me.
someone's house because of the smell. A dog pretty much killed my great-grandmother. Dogs
Pretty much killed.
have made various living arrangements unpleasant for me. Dogs have caused me to spend money to protect myself.
Dogs have caused me to spend money. Dogs are in full control. They know what they're doing. Anyway, dogs forced me to spend money. Dogs forced me to get into fights with people. Dogs are pulling the strings.
From the very credible threat of force their presence implies. Dogs have caused me to have to deploy canisters of spray and gel to stop their vicious and
Dogs have forced me to spray my own territory with urine. It's the only language they understand.
unwanted incursions. Dogs have made
Oh my god, the next
it to
one.
where I cannot associate with certain people at all. Dogs have wanted to kill and attack
Dogs have wanted to kill me.
me on numerous occasions for no reason.
Dog thought crime.
Dogs have
What
made
the
world I live in uglier.
This is where it sounds like dog whistling.
All around.
Ready?
Dogs have infiltrated the internet, the film industry, you name it.
And yet I don't think dogs are a stand-in for Jews or black people, as it often sounds like in what he's saying, because of how much there is.
Dogs took my job. My wife ran off with a dog. A dog flipped me off on the highway.
Indeed.
Dogs beat
Thank
me
you for
and
the
took my
20.
lunch money.
Dogs have urinated and defecated in stores I frequent. Dogs have left their nastiness in several neighborhoods I've
Why the f do you frequent those stores?
lived in.
I frequent stores where dogs shit everywhere, is what you've just told me.
Just all over for me to find. Dogs have chased me on the streets in countries where they are just infested with dogs, while inside a vehicle. That was a post I wrote some time ago. It went ignored by dog defenders, out of whom I did not hear a sound when it was posted.
Check the head of every major world bank, every single one. A dog. We need that chart where they turn people blue and it's like, who rules you? Dog, 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 dog. Setting the record straight, countering the lies about me.
All you ever had to do was apologize for your ridiculous outburst and self-reflect on why you would talk to a peer in such a disrespectful manner.
Hell does line up with anti-natal and anti-child sentiment. Duh. But hey, I guess my half-decade of
dog culture is anti-natal. Therefore, you're on the dog side if you're an anti-natalist. I see where the clash is. All right.
experience means all but crap to you?
So you repeatedly used the word natalism, when the word you wanted was antinatalism.
Oh, destroyed.
I do not need credentials to know when someone is an unhinged person, by the way. Just like I don't need them to know when a dog is being hostile towards me for no good reason. Which is the exact same trait I saw you exhibit.
You think you're part of the anti-dog community? I think you are a dog. Dog culture perspective. Defenders of humans. Dog abuse in Hungary. Four-legged plague! I hate dogs' live streams. Hitler. Dogs belong in my luxury mountain retreat and the Jews will pay. Trump. No dogs in the White House. Trump is the anti-dog candidate.
Election 2024. And there's a lot of stuff out there comparing Donald Trump to Hitler. Here's just a little image search. Quite a few articles, quite a few people trying to get people to hate Trump even more than they already do by making more and more comparisons to Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fine. We're still a free country, hopefully. We have the First Amendment. But if we're going to do analysis, let's do it across the board. Let's also compare the Biden administration to Hitler.
Oh! He's got them! Caught in 4K.
Biden's administration used dogs to make Joe Biden look like some kind of wonderful dude.
Takes office in January. Not only will this be the first time in...
Just need to do like a pinch myself. This feels like I've eaten a poisonous mushroom and I'm hallucinating.
Biden is spoiling dogs up in the White House, trying to make himself look good, present himself as an animal lover. Well, Hitler did that too. Hitler presented himself. Hitler himself had German Shepherds, and Ava had dogs too. These little guys.
Oh, so thanks for pointing. I couldn't see them.
So while people out there in Germany and other places went hungry, while Jewish people were attacked by dogs.
You know, Hitler only killed the Jews because he needed food for dogs, and they were eating it all up.
So what do you think would have happened if this was during the times of slavery, and someone would have said, hey, a slave owner is treating a slave bad? They wouldn't have done anything about it. Well, today, with the dog culture, it's the same thing. People call and call and call about these dangerous dogs, this one I'm showing you right here, and the cities and the governments, they don't do anything about it. They wait until somebody dies. So it's like these people are slaves to dogs. They spend all their life dealing with dogs, feeding dogs, housing dogs.
Wait, hang on. In this analogy, the dogs are the slave owners?
And then the abolitionist movement was banned publication.
I thought I was following what he was saying, but I don't know if I can function anymore. AI is the same as dog culture. AI is already here. The canine pattern recognition example. I don't even know what this could be.
Artificial intelligence is already here. Dog culture is artificial intelligence.
Dog, I can't. Dog, I can't.
This is a lot like the fear that people have of robots. Robots might log onto the internet and see all this subhuman sentiment, and then robots might decide to try to kill us or launch a nuclear war or something like that. We're already there with dogs. Dogs are constantly killing us, constantly attacking.
Democrats are child-hating dog worshippers. We have the receipts. Political exercise.
Now, remember what I told you guys, wherever we find
too rambly,
this over-the-top dog worship and dogs being allowed to harass humans, what else do we find? Oh, yeah. There it is. Are you reading what I'm highlighting here?
Yeah. But if dog culture is ubiquitous, you find everything where dog culture is.
Are you reading what I'm pointing at?
Oh, 62% Democrat.
D. D for dog worship.
D for dog!
D for dog worship. Auditor. D for dog worship.
He cracked the code!
D for dog worship. Sheriff. D for dog worship. Marion County Recorder.
D for dog worship!
Look, I realize that Republicans are all into dogs.
Yeah.
Even the Trump supporters love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that are
maybe even more
over the top dog lovers and supporting communities that are full of let me go back.
Just not certain breeds.
The political parties that are in charge of communities that I'm telling you guys, I can do this all day with cities from all over the country.
Yeah. Possibly
police.
Every city are for rabid dog worshipper. Chihuahuas are evil.
I would not trust a Chihuahua. Those little things are evil. They bite more than like 10 times more than any other dog breed. This is my pit bull. Does he look dangerous to you?
I'm going to show you that dogs are dangerous. Explain the danger of dogs and how people shouldn't have them by paralleling them with the guns I own. I think there's a bit of a lapse of judgment there, rhetorically.
Oh my God! Never thought this could happen. He's never shown aggression before.
Does he get that this could just be an anti-gun video and he could be talking about himself? Is this not a joke? How to release stress caused by dog nuts. Another friendship ruined by dogs. The phobia of dogs is not a phobia. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? You know, it's been here we go again with my intro. It's been a while since I made a video. I had a qualm, and it's dog related.
I got a qualm and it's dog related. I got a qualm. It's dog related.
So I figured on my way to work I might as well just film something and get this off my chest. I still absolutely despise dogs.
Good to know. He's staying true to his roots.
Haven't made a video or done any research in a little while. Does not mean I don't keep in tune with all of the dog lunacy. I have a buddy that I've known since high school.
Okay, this gets cracked real fast.
And he's always been big into dogs. And
get ready.
You know, I've said this before, I really never liked dogs, but I never hated them the way that I do until I kind of started to see the big picture.
Get ready.
Seeing how much they attack people.
Okay.
Seeing what kind of diseases they can carry.
Okay.
Seeing how people have sex with them.
I hate dogs because people have sex with them. Why would you hate dogs for people having sex with them? Did you lose your wife to a Saint Bernard?
What? I never really understood the collaborative picture. How it's not just one or two dog owners that I know that act a certain way. It's en masse. So the fact that his dog died, I didn't say, oh, I'm so sorry. Because in reality, you've had this tremendous burden lifted off your head. Fast forward to like maybe a month ago. You know, I said he really likes the bigger breeds.
This gets amazing, dude. Prepare yourself.
There's been some contention even before
Prepare yourself.
What I'm about to tell you happened. He sent me a video once. I think it was his dog. I could be wrong on that. But it was a video of a dog taking a dump. And I'm like, you know, I didn't really... At first, I'm like, oh, what the heck? Why would you send me something like that?
I saw a video from an Asian country where it was a dog squatting and taking a shit into a tiny hole in the ground, perfectly aimed its dump, and the X-Files theme was playing, and I lost my mind.
And he was just like, haha. He just thought it was funny. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not really going to react to that. But then the more and more that he pressed me, he kept sending me more and more dog-related stuff. And I got sick of it. So I told him, Fred, I'm going to change his name for the sake of the video. Fred, I hate dogs. So I started telling him
about all the dog sex I've seen. I told him people are dogs left, right, and center. Let me show you some dog videos, but
facts pertaining to dog attacks and stuff like that. And once he got the message that I was serious, I think he backed off. Well, recently, like maybe a month or so ago, he got this Rottweiler. Big old
dog.
Rottweiler.
Yeah.
And you know the Rottweilers are like in second place for attacks, right behind pit bulls.
Watch out, your friend's gonna get them into number one.
Vicious dogs that attack people a lot. So I'm like, I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was sitting on the couch. My boys were watching their fruit. They have this video on YouTube. It's
my kids were watching their fruit.
Like a dancing fruit. And they like to watch that. They're 1 year old now, and they like to watch the fruit. If you've ever watched that, it's just...
Kids these days, they're always watching their fruit.
Some dancing fruit with colors and music, and it's very stimulating to their brains. I would sit on the couch.
Weird way to talk about you. Like, just the phrasing. This guy's definitely
doing a lot of nothing. I get a message from them.
As a dog enjoyer, I'm biased, but I think it's not my bias. This guy's a bit slow.
And I'm like, oh great, what now?
Oh, I shouldn't have the transcript open.
And I had to like, it took me a second to realize what it was. Like, was one of those things where you say to yourself, like, wait, what am I looking at? He sent me a picture of his dog's great big fat erect penis with no caption or anything else. I won't go like into detail on how long I think it was.
Why would you even say you won't? Who thought you would? I won't tell you how many veins I saw, but I did count.
This dog had a massive member.
I hate dogs because they always have sex with people and their cocks are so huge. Actually jealous of dogs. Feels sexually inadequate because of dogs.